Thank you for watching News Echoes. Today we centralize on Nigeria, and I have competent colleagues with me in the studio. My name is Shegun Johnson, and in faraway Toronto, we have our own brother, Sir George. Sir George, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Shegun Johnson. Doki. And good morning, viewers from around the world. Thank you for being with us today.
Yes, and in the commercial capital of Nigeria is Bidi Nana. Bidi, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shegun. Thanks for having me once again. Our viewers all around the world, good morning. Thanks for joining us again today. Let's do it like always.
And in Milan is Mark. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
Morning, Dr. Shegun. Morning, Sir George. Morning, BD. It's good to see you guys again. Another beautiful day to dialogue.
Beautiful indeed. The G20 has finished the Delhi meeting, and each country is picking what is best for it. Of course, Nigeria is not a member of G20, but the Nigerian president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was invited by the Prime Minister of India, and he allowed him to take fringe meetings. And stories came out that there were investment deals made at the meeting. President Asiwaju reportedly went with 120 ministers and businessmen so that they could get direct investment to Nigeria. However, many have said all of these are just promises until we see them on ground. Some went ahead to say that Buhari got so many deals, never materialized. But let us see the importance of this particular G20 meeting deals. Are they real deals, or they are just to fortify the acceptance of Bola Tinubu's presidency? Let me start with you, Sir George.
Well, visibility is everything. The fact that Nigeria is not part of the G20, I believe South Africa is, but they went ahead and invited AU to become part of G20. That dynamic situation is what I don't understand. You know, who is going to represent AU in G20? But in regards to what you were saying about the business deals, we don't know. This is a government that can lie without any fear of consequences or whatever. They don't believe in facts. They just tell you what you want to hear to look good. You know, so they have what you call a cosmetic veil that they just cover their faces with. Say whatever, it doesn't matter whether it comes out that is a lie or not. Who cares? So I don't know. Until I see any manifestation or something, I don't believe nothing they say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fair enough in view of all the things that have happened in the recent days. Massive Mark, we are told that it was the presence of Tinubu that made them admit AU into the membership of G20. Will that be correct? Because AU has existed many years before now, and they're now given the same status as EU. Although there are many European members of G20, they're trying to say it's a big status for AU. And like George said, how big is it? Because how will the interest of Africa be represented when Africa is not one nation? Does it mean that it will be another form of sending their boys to work? But more importantly, is it because Tinubu has gone, that is why AU is a member of G20?
You said it all, Dr. Shegun. It's interesting how a lot of times APC, Tinubu ascribe prominence to themselves. We know that the G20 has been on, even though some of these organizations are beginning to look very, I don't know, like less bulldog. the group of 20, G20, it should be a premier forum for international economic cooperation. And it's been known since its inception in 1999. EU joined because, yes, like you said, EU is a strong bloc here in the West. AU being invited, take note that there's a step to this joining. You don't just join because they said it. You go through some steps. So yes, the invitation has been put out, but we are yet to see if it will be confirmed. It has nothing to do with the Nigerian Bola Ahmed Tinubu being there. It is a plan that has been known since 2017, when AU requested to be part of this G20. So let's hope that it brings something, because the AU itself, like you just said, Dr. Shegun, AU is not living up to expectations. We've not seen much coming from AU. So they are not united again, like you just said. You said it all, Dr. Shegun. So let's see what comes out of all of this. We hope something good will come for Africa.
Let me formally welcome Dr. Ibe from Moscow. Dr. Ibe, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me. I hope I'm audible.
Very well. We can hear you very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were having lunch with North Korean president.
that was the impression that the Russian president needed you to be there, but it's okay. You have left them. This is more important. Bidi, the presidency has announced the Tinubu Ahmed's Delhi presence as very important, as the best thing that has happened to Africa as a continent. It was when he was there that AU was made a member, just like EU. It was when he was there that many things happened. He even used the occasion to meet with the Arab Emirates High President immediately after the Delhi meeting. He met. How far has all of these helped his rating at home?
You know what this government, what they are good in doing is blowing things out of proportion. Do you understand? Going to G20, going to Arab Emirates, what does it bring to an average Nigerian? First, Nigerians even criticize the number of people that followed President Tinubu to that summit. Do you know what that cost to Nigerians? Over 120 people with their aides. That's one is a difference in Nigerians argue that they don't like that. Now, going to G20, what has it brought to Nigerians? Nigerians are not member of this G20. That Buhari, Tinubu went. Sorry, why am I calling Buhari? Tinubu went.
Maybe there's
they
no
didn't even
difference
invite
anyway.
Nigerians to
There's no difference between them.
Rather, they're inviting AU. What does that tell you? They said there's no difference. But South Africa is a member. Why can't Nigeria be a member
between
directly?
Buhari and Tinubu.
Tinubu and Buhari are one.
Yeah,
They're the same. There's no difference between
no.
them.
Oh, sorry, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Now, what I'm saying is this: Nigeria went there. They didn't invite us to come and be a member. They're inviting AU. Why don't they invite Nigerians to come and be a member? That's okay. Then when they said why he took a lot of people to go is because they are sourcing for business opportunities, which they told us they discuss a lot. Now, it's not about discussing. You know, we are talking country. We like to talk. But this time around, Nigerians are resolved out of talking. We want to see actions. They've told us a lot of things they discuss. Until we start seeing the effect of those things, Nigerians will not even blink an eye. Now, there's another thing that's happened to this. There's a news going on in Nigeria. They said PDP government is mocking Buhari attending G20 meeting. Now, if you read that news, it's not actually mocking. But you know, we the media people, we the journalists, there's a way we twist stories, you know, to give us relevancy or to give us a trend, or maybe probably to call the attention of the ruling party party or ruling administration, how can you go looking for investor when the ones you have already in Nigerians are not doing well? In this country, we know how companies are leaving Nigerians on a monthly basis. I don't want to say yearly basis. They are leaving this country because of monetization, because of corruption, because of harsh policies. I think we should take care of those things before we go looking for sourcing for other investors. Because if we get those investors, if they come to Nigeria, they'll still live like the others are living. That's just what I think about this. They should stop making noise. I think this G20 is just to reaffirm Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency. That's just what I see in this G20
Yeah. And some
summit
people said
attendance
he
by
went
Bola Ahmed
all.
Tinubu and APC person.
Oh, thank you so much. You have opened a new window. Some people said he went early so that he would not be at home when the judgment of the presidential panel was being read. Well, they said so. I don't know how far that is true. But Dr. Ibe, after the Delhi meeting, he then went on to meet with the president, the high president of the UAE, and Aguilera, something like that. I think that's his name. I'm not too sure. Anyway, he's a senior presidential. I've lost count of how to mention. Um, he's a media man. Came out to say that.
I honestly don't.
That he has gone to meet with the president of UAE, and they have
Ajulu,
agreed.
Ajulu,
Yes,
Aguilera.
Ajulu, thank you, Ajulu, and
yes.
they've agreed that the ban on visa on Nigerians has been lifted, and that the Etihad and Qatar Airways will be working there immediately, and Etihad and one other. I mean, so many juicy things, and many Nigerians jubilated, especially those who have bought houses in Dubai, those who have families in Dubai, those who want to visit Dubai. In fact, the jubilation was very, very emotional. I saw many people, including an actor called Afolayan, all of them jubilating, only to be punctured that no, it's not the same thing on the other side. Is there any explanation for this, Dr. Ibe?
Yes, most of the time, meetings between political leaders in more in advanced countries, they are usually well articulated and planned out. But sometimes there could also be some element of hyping to kind of let the policy representatives, in this case the president, to understand what is expected of the by the people or by the media. And there was some hyping there which turned out to be an exaggeration, to say the least, to be more diplomatic. But some will just call it an outright lie. But the fundamentals have not changed. The fundamentals have not changed in the sense that what were the reasons for the behavior of the UAE? The first can be linked to migration risk. Yes, and the truth is that those people who are rejoicing now, it's only a few of them who have houses in Dubai. Most of them who are rejoicing are just rejoicing for the opportunity to be able to travel out and to be able to have one country that you can, apply for visa or to go visit. And that's what most of the jubilation is connected to, because there are few percentage of Nigerians who have houses in Dubai. But the thing is that the fact is that Nigerians, many, I don't say all, but many Nigerians represent a migration risk to Dubai and the UAE. As a whole, and also problems with economics in terms of trade loss, in terms of conditions for their airlines, and devaluation of the currency, and settlements which have led to losses on the airline side, from what I heard. So the economics part needs to be dealt with, the migration part needs to be dealt with before we can say that the problem has been solved. Otherwise,
Dr. Ibe, don't you think it is Dubai that should be jubilating? They're going to collect our money in millions and billions. They should be the ones to be jubilating. What are we going to gain from it as a nation?
you understand that If they are not jubilating, then it means that they are losing, or they've made so many concessions which are not beneficial. They are rational actors. Dubai UAE is not acting because to make me happy or angry or you happy or angry. They are rational actors in the geopolitical space. If they take a particular step, then it means that at that point in time, it's not representing their best interest. So it's for us to understand and to be able to sell our position why we are beneficial to Dubai and try to solve the underlying problem so that the solution cannot be short, will not be short term, but will be a long lasting problem solution. I also want to touch on the G20 summit because the main points were not really touched on yet. The conclusion of the G20 was on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, climate action, green development, also multilateral financing coming from the back of the BRICS summit. So they want more multilateral financing, not only the IMF. They also focused on digital public infrastructure, artificial intelligence, and means of international taxation settlement. It's also important to note that the New Delhi Declaration was had a very unique tone. Like the previous G20 meetings that the US and the EU had their say, and the New Delhi actually watered down the wishes of the US and the EU by refusing to take sides with them on the crisis in Ukraine, and instead insisting on the matters that are relevant to the G20 countries, which are listed. We also have the reason why AU was accepted as a permanent member. It's not the acceptance is the main step. The paperwork are formalities. We have seen it in both the EU admission of Ukraine as a priority partner or something like this, and all geopolitical blocks. The acceptance is the main hurdle to cross, and then the paperwork comes along. The fact that BRICS has expanded, included more African countries, and if the trend continues, more African countries will move towards BRICS, and BRICS will be an alternative not only to G7, but to G20, has put some more pressure on G20 and allow them to give AU a permanent seat there. And it's not just because they didn't know the application existed since so many years ago. There's a change in focus of the world, moving to a multipolar world, the admission of the relevance of blocks such as the AU, or them being whisked away by other geopolitical blocks such as the BRICS. This is why AU is giving much prominence these days.
Thank you very much for that analysis. So it's not because of Tinubu's presence. Sir George, is this how Nigeria will continue to be behaving in the Committee of Nations, just to spin things without necessarily having the fundamental issues addressed? Is this how we continue to spin things?
Well, this is the smoke from 8 years of incompetent government, a leader that was there without knowing his left from his right. I'm so sorry, but this is exactly the smoke that is coming out of that leadership. So what you're seeing today, by the way, Bankole Joel, good morning, my brother, welcome. What we are seeing is, we're trying to do everything to look good. Have you ever seen somebody who is trying to act like he's humble? You stink. Have you ever seen that? Somebody who is trying to look like they're humble or act like they're humble, But, somebody who is naturally humble, you can see the way they carry themselves. Well, this is what our country is doing. And to be very frank with you, personally, it does not look good with other countries. Because, okay, let's just say, for instance, what Dr. Ibe was just saying. You have a meeting with UAE. They know exactly what was discussed. But if they go to the internet and see everything that we are saying versus what they have actually discussed, what does it make us look like? Think about that for a moment, because it makes us look weaker, beggarly, as if UAE is just like our, the shining armor that we want to belong to. It doesn't make our country look good at all, because what it is almost like we're reaching out and begging for crumbs from under their table. Please accept our visa. Please, let us come to your country. It's sad, honestly speaking.
Yeah. We won't dwell too much on this, but I took the audacity to copy the presentation of the UAE, their own presentation to their people. Listen to how they have described Tinubu, and this one has not been touched or doctored in any form. This is from their own press statement. President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan today met with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is on a working visit to the UAE. During the meeting, which took place at Qasr Al Shati in Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed answered renewed his congratulations to Tinubu on assuming the presidency earlier this year. Next paragraph. His Highness expressed his hope. Now you will see them honoring their president with his title. Whereas each time they mentioned Tinubu, it was straight to his name. In international relations, you give a man his title. If anybody was to talk about President Biden officially, it will be President Biden, President Biden. Here, it was His Highness. But anytime they are mentioning Tinubu, it's straight to his name, as if he's a common man. It's not normally done. It's not diplomatically done. I hope they see this in Nigeria, as I have seen it. Because Nigerians, they're talking about the president of my country, no respect to his name. Whereas on the same page, each title was given to his counterpart. I don't know whether I'm overrating this one. Mark, what do you say?
Sorry, who went to beg who? Who went to beg who?
They're not begging.
We're not begging.
Okay, who traveled so many hours? Okay, who traveled so many hours to see who?
Yeah, but they could still give us a bit of dignity. A bit of dignity.
The dignity comes from the way you carry yourself. Yeah, I understand where Dr. Ibe is coming from. Even if you went to beg, there's what they call beg with respect. If you saw some of the videos, you saw how our president was hugging people. The way he was, his expression and the way he thought he went for Owambe. Sorry, but that's what I see. Do you understand? Your body language, your posture, the way you present yourself has a lot to do. Do you understand? In the way people will respect you or address you. I think that has a lot to do with us too.
Thank you very much. Yes, these are very potent things you're all saying. Normally, in the international world, when a man is taken as a president, he goes through a class of courtesy, how to talk, how to shake, how to greet, how to dress, how to. Yes, there's a school for that in the Western world. So I don't think Nigeria has that mentality yet. So our leaders come like that, lousy, with all, they just put themselves through, and they don't know that.
No, I disagree to this. It's not just our leader. Buhari did not do that. I give it to him. He's not here.
No. He did that in his speech making and in some other. He did that, but not in not the hugging way. His was in his speech. Some of his appearances were very cranky. So let us make this. Let us.
I believe that. I believe that he must have been taught because the Ministry of External Affairs, they are very particular about that. I've worked with the Nigerian government before at the national level, and once you enter a country, the Nigerian mission there will come and tell you the do's and don'ts, the saying and don't say in that particular country. And they will teach you that you have to, if you are the head of the mission, you have to kiss them 3 times on the cheek, if that is what they do in that country. They always do that. But you have to be careful with Ashiwaju that because of health challenges, he may not be able to grab his opposite counterpart very well. You saw that where all his photographs where he was standing alone, he was using his left hand to hold his right hand because of his physical challenges, health challenges. And so we know about that one in Nigeria. So he may be hugging them in a non-conventional manner because of
he wants
health
to hold
challenges.
himself.
Yes, yeah.
Use them as
Otherwise, he
support.
will fall down. So we're not berating him. It's not his fault that he has health challenges that will not go away. The only fault is that why do you contest? Anyway, we have to move on. Thank you very much. We are trying to make our eyes open to this so that Nigerians could learn when next they vote, who they vote for, and the expectations, and to wake Nigerians up. That's why we're having all these talks twice a week. We want to wake people.
Dr. Shegu,
Dr. Johnson, Nigerians voted for who they
Sir George.
wanted.
Exactly.
Dr. Johnson,
That's the point I want to.
Nigeria voted for who they wanted, but the 3% that chose what they wanted to do. So let's just leave it there. They know who
exactly.
to vote for.
So don't school Nigerians on how to vote. Nigerians actually know how to vote, and they voted. But the issue is here: the power that be. What they want is what we are facing now. It's not about Nigeria. Nigerians know how to vote.
It's not about election, about selection.
Okay. Okay, maybe I should have said those who are selected should take this into consideration.
But I would play the devil's advocate and say that the opposition candidates didn't play enough geopolitics. They put all their hope in one particular geopolitical power who had a clear, obvious preference, and who saw their candidate as a model for democracy. So I believe that when you don't have the military, you need to have a geopolitical power.
Well, another point against that will be that BVAS that you spent 352 billion naira, which they swore is the new way and is also from the law. They threw it away at the judiciary. So how do you explain that with geopolitical discussion you just said?
Exactly.
Oh, you know all the people. Let me answer that. Let me answer that. You see, I'll give a very good analogy. You see Switzerland. Switzerland is a country that is known for privacy of banking and all of that. But when the US needed information on US taxpayers, for them to submit it, what did they do? They just quickly, they did as if they were resisting, but invented something. Let me tell you, there's sanctions work on some people. And some people, many of you who are corruption, they need where to store their money. They are afraid of sanctions on their families and members traveling. They detest it more than anything in the world. In fact, many of them will even sell Nigeria if not to get banned on visa. Many of them who take a lot of decisions in the country are very, very who take decisions against the people are compromised. Let me put it this way. So it's very, very clear. There's nothing to.
Okay, I know we are going on break very soon.
You listen to what Wike said, the Minister of FCT. He said after the court's judgment, he said that Nigerians should understand that that they know that the youth voted for Obi. The majority of Nigerians voted for Obi. But what Nigerians should understand that is not Nigerian politics. That when you understand Nigerian politics, that you understand it's not about your voting. Wike said it. Now my question is this. If it's not about our voting, why do we keep wasting money voting? We spend a lot of money in election. Why can't we just sit and do this selection? We spend money, we lose people. Why can't we stop election and keep selecting? If it's not about if we should understand
democracy, you have to say it's called democracy. They want to share this internationally that we are in the democracy. It's democracy in Nigeria. Leave it alone. Wike is a drunk, so he says it like this.
That's a very good thing to notice. You know, he said that
I know.
right after the election, about a week
after the judiciary.
No. He said it earlier. He said it in February. That was
okay.
ago.
Okay. One of the reasons. One of the
If Libya
challenges we
beats
also
that,
have is
okay.
having a good referee. When the two sides are playing football, you have a good referee, you have a good result. And in the absence of a good referee, they've even put on a VAR, video assisting referee, to check whether it's right. That's the level that we need to get into. But where the referee is compromised, we have seen in places where one team was scoring 110 goals just to make the next league level. And I'm not lying. Go and check Google. Nigeria is that kind of team. So we'll go on a short break. When we return, we want to look at Port Harcourt refinery coming up again. This refinery came up when Buhari came to power, and it died quietly. Is this one going to come up and die? Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Be this world, changing your mindset.
My Isaac. I am visually impaired.
I'm a cripple. I'm crippled in both legs.
I'm a builder. If you people can able to get me a laptop or smart big phone to be cover project.
Baba Ajuko from Nigerian Show of the Blind in Lagos State. All I just need now is a smartphone. I don't mind any type. Just for me to be selling my products and facilitate my job. With a smartphone with me, I can do my free traveling on the line and I don't need to beg anybody for money again.
Business Summit and Fair 4th edition is set to digitalize fiscally challenged business owners by gifting them smartphones, laptops to enable them to do their business properly and effortlessly. Business Summit and Fair is an annual advocacy business program advocating for friendly business environment for SMEs in Nigeria and fiscally challenged business owners. Since the inception of this program, we've revived so many SMEs and taken up the streets so many beggars, inculcating in them the spirit of owning and doing their own businesses. Since after the COVID, many of them have been left behind for lack of having smartphones and laptops. Then they used to have their businesses along the road or in a marketplace. Now there's a need for them to be carried along into the e-market, and we need to do that by gifting them smartphones and laptops. Join us this year, 21st September 2023 at Radisson Hotel Ikeja GRA as we have our annual events. Digitalizing fiscally challenged business owner. It's the topic for this year. Be part of Business Summit and Fair, where you will learn, discuss, and exhibit your products and services. Join us this year, 21st September 2023, at Radisson Hotel Ikeja GRA for Business Summit and Fair 4th edition. My name is Bedi Nana. I'm the convener of Business Summit and Fair.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still on issues affecting Nigeria. Maybe we could do better. We've been told by the presidency of Ahmed Tinubu that the Port Harcourt refinery will be working again from December. And you know, oil is a major issue in Nigeria. It runs our economy, gives us foreign exchange. And if this could be running, then we don't need to import refined petrol anymore because Dangote Petroleum will be there, the one from Port Harcourt will be there. But we recall that when Buhari first came to power in 2015, the body language made those refineries started working. But within weeks, they all stopped. Many have been asking, will this one start working and then fizzle out? Or is this the beginning of a great thing to happen? We need to discuss it now. To start with, how much is the Nigerian government spending to refine these machines that have gone out of use for a long time, which have been maintained, but they have to reassess and rejuvenate? And so is it really paying us, or we should have a rethink? Let me start with you, from you, Sir George. What do you think?
You know, sometimes when we keep hearing some of these things, how many operations did Buhari make sure that he went and cut the ribbons for before he left? And how many of those that he did are operating today? You see, because sometimes, you know, I mean, I don't understand. I think what it is because our memory in Nigeria is so short term that, you know, news comes and we clamor about it, we rejoice or we cry, we mourn. 2 days after, you know, we just forget about everything, and they reinvent a new lie and tell us, and we jump up and down, or maybe we just calm down again. The point we're making here is this: Buhari was about to leave. He wanted to make sure that that particular train station, or the train track that they were working in Lagos, he went and, you know, act as if it was opening. Up on today, none of them is true. He went and spoke to Dangote refinery to make himself look good. Oh, they're going to open up in May 23 or in August, I believe. Up until today, nothing is true. And then all of a sudden now they want us to talk about Port Harcourt refinery. Are you talking about Port Harcourt refinery? What have you done since that time? Did you buy new equipment? Did you refine it? The man went there to walk through it. Not that he found out, he did not go back home and then start taking notes and asking experts, what would this be? He just, you know, blatantly just announced, oh, he's going to start working by the end of the year. Who? You see, the point is this: who is the fool here? Is it the people or this government? They don't care about lying. What they want to do is at that moment they say what they wanted to say. Look at what happened in the Murtala Mohammed Airport. The man went over there to walk around, and then what do you see? The next thing he said, oh, we're moving this thing from this terminal to that terminal. No thinking. You just make decisions without thinking. You just pronounce things, you know, without even thinking about the consequences of your action. Look, right there in that airport today, a friend of mine was going there. He said it's chaotic. Took him more than 5 hours to get out of that place. Look at the kind of government we're dealing with. These are jokers, man. Until we get serious in Nigeria, they will continue to make you look like an idiot, a yo-yo. That's what Nigerians are. Because if for them to have the impetus to come and lie like this, because they feel like you're a nobody, you're just a non-entity, they will say in and get away with it. That's the reason why they're doing all that nonsense. Away with that nonsense, man. We don't want to hear all that nonsense anymore.
Yeah.
So that
let's hear how do you copy it in Nigeria? Are you jumping up, rolling on the ground like Afolayan? Hey, they've done it again. Bidi.
Dr. Shego, obvious, some people will jump, and the people that will jump are the people we'll call Abadorians. I don't know if you know them. The Abadorians are jumping up, but every reasonable thinking Nigerian, it does not move them. One thing we should understand is that the same people are still in power in Nigeria. In as much as this Tinubu government people are trying to make us understand, it was Buhari and now it's Tinubu. Nobody is buying that. Do you understand? Now, bear it in mind that Tinubu was the chairman of the APC for the 8 years Buhari was in power. So, in the first 8 years, they told us that they are going to restore the 5 Nigerian refinery. That was the first thing they sold to Nigerians, and we bought into it.
I remember.
And we were rejoicing. And after 8 years, nothing happened. And now they've come up with it. There's this thing about Nigerian politics. Say, tell them what they want to hear. And APC government is one government that understands this politics, and they are playing it very well with Nigerians. Unfortunately, many Nigerians don't understand how these things work. Do you understand? They keep telling Nigerians what they want to hear, get their attention, get their empathy, and inflicting a lot of pain. Nigerians are going through a lot of undeserved pain from this government, and they don't care, and they keep doing it. Look, let me tell you, nothing is going to happen. Let me tell you why this thing will not work. I want them to prove me wrong. In Nigeria,
can I interrupt you for a minute? Can we stop this nonsense about telling us what they want to hear? Call it they're lying. That's all they do. It's lies. No, that's all it is. Call it what it is. Don't paint pictures.
Of course, it is lies, but they know that there are things Nigerians want to hear. You tell them, and they will get away with it. Like now, telling them now, and some people will come online rejoicing, and they know it's lying. They are not lying. They are not going to do anything. Now, let me tell you one thing: the refineries in the south of Nigeria will not work. There is an agreement between the southwest of Nigeria and north in Nigeria. And what is that agreement? And that is one of the reasons there is Dangote refinery being situated in the southwest of Nigeria. So that agreement is still standing and holding in Nigeria. So there's no refinery in south of Nigeria that is coming up anytime soon. Quote me. And I want them to prove me wrong and let it come up.
I think I've had something like that before. That Dangote refinery has to be alone. The man likes monopoly. And so for them to now want to raise the one in Port Harcourt will challenge all the money he has spent. But Mark, how do you copy that one? Oh, Mark just left. Sir George, you think they will allow that rivalry to happen?
Question you have to ask yourself is this. Put that thing on silent. Question you have to ask yourself is this: who does it benefit when the pipeline that they have to move crude from the south to the north? And then who does it benefit when they ship a crude oil and bring it back into our country? 3, if they start the one in Lagos, Dangote refinery, who are the beneficiaries of it? Because don't forget who the 6%ers that are controlling everything pertaining to the oil in Nigeria. So they're the ones that are making the deals. So I do believe what Biddy is saying, that it will be I don't think it will happen. Honestly speaking, I don't think so.
Mark, what's your contribution to that?
Yes, sir. Sorry for this little glitches. Yes, Dr. Shegun, a lot of interesting things. But the APC government has promised Nigerians that the refinery will be working by December. The Port Harcourt refinery will commence operation by December. They also added by saying Warri also will come on stream by the first quarter of next year. Kaduna, not east, will also be on board by next year. This was all added to that statement. So, but with all you're saying, we begin to wonder, because exactly this time last year, Buhari made similar comments. In his words, he said, our first product will be in the market before the end of July or beginning of August this year. And behold, up to now, we've not seen anything coming from that end. So this is what we have. We keep having a situation where they put the people on high hope. You know, they raise our hopes high, they say nice things, and we don't see anything. And like George and BD said, we keep going on, you know, we keep accepting, and everybody.
BD says they say what Nigerians want to hear. George says they lie. Why are you quoting it? Well, we leave that one for the moment.
Let me add to something that happened in India. In India, Nigeria was able to strike a deal with the Indian company to bring in automobiles and do some business. Now, there was an argument with some other folks in a platform, and some people see it as a progressive thing for APC. Bola Tinubu have struck a deal, we brokered a deal to bring in investors, but we are seeing it from a different place now. We have similar business project in Nigeria through the man called Innocent. Yes. And we've all seen the very beautiful, good automobile is bringing out. So why are we taking our time to? This is how we've always done, always going out and thinking ours is not as good as, and going to look other people's own and bring other people's into our country.
Massive Mark, where is Innocent from? What part of Nigeria is he from?
No. Let's leave all that.
No. Excuse you.
It's very, very important. You have to consider it.
But we can't be playing this game every time. What part of
that's our reality. That's our reality. Massive
reality there.
Because the same APC funded Dangote refinery, Dangote cement, Dangote everything. Now, if we have some these businesses in the southeast, why not look into that and let's do it and make it a corporate
massive Mark. You see, in politics, you don't bring emotions into politics.
That's why, that's why you are the one bringing emotion. That's what I'm saying. We don't need to say.
No, you are the one bringing emotions. You should understand the reality. Innocent is from the southeast of Nigeria.
That's it.
And he's not part of this game. You wanting them to bring him to the game, you're bringing emotion to it. Face the reality and say it the way it is.
No, I'm not saying it because Innocent is from Southeast. I'm not saying it because he's my brother. I'm saying that somebody is doing a similar thing. We have gone to
Wait, listen and understand.
Are you missing the point, Mark?
You are missing
what is
the
wrong
point.
with you?
The point is this: because he's from the southeast, he can't be supported.
That's it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now,
let's get something here. Dangote has always been. Dangote is successful because many times he was given monopoly to operate. That's why he's successful. So Innocent is not getting that monopoly. Simple message, isn't
monopoly.
it?
Not only monopoly, he gets Dangote get loan without interest. He gets waivers. He gets a lot of things. Dangote is actually successful on Nigerians' money. Now, I want to say something that based on what we are saying earlier. You see, this refinery they have come to make a statement they are going to restore before December. The only thing this thing is going to do is that it's going to enrich some set of Nigerians because money will be dished out for this. And so many people get rich.
And they must.
But see that refinery is not coming up. Forget it.
they need to tell us how much they are spending to raise that refinery, how much, and who is the contractor getting that money. Well, we have to move on. Sit at home in the Southeast is a thing of the past. Mark, you get that story. Quickly tell us.
So, Dr. Jago, the way you say it is so funny. Yes, we are following the news anyway, so we just say to the audience, the viewers that are with us, and whatever other opinions anybody has, that's it. Yes, on Tuesday, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Lagbaji, said that the sit at home in the Southeast has ended. This is in his words. There's an operation the army is undertaking called Operation Nduka. Operation Nduka is in collaboration with other stakeholders to put an end to this infamous sit-at-home order that has been crippling the social economic activities of that region. So Lagbaje said they will now put everything. So what this means is the military, the federal force are coming into the Southeast.
You cannot use force to stop that force. Do they know that one? Force
and
does not
right here in Finland, in Europe, the man acting as a spokesman for the IPOB organization says, in fact, they are tightening up their sit-at-home plan, and it's going to get more intense. So it's going to be a brutal one, two forces coming together.
In one, thank you, Mark. In one sentence, George, do you believe that sit-at-home is coming to an end?
People are already so afraid. They have attempted to come out, and there were some casualties. So it would be very, very difficult to do. The only way we're going to clip this and nip it in the bud is to pick up that fool from Finland and bring him to Nigeria. But who is fueling him? Who is the one supporting him? Who is the one making sure that the Southeastern businesses are being stifled and being brought to their knees? That's the question. Who is it? So
I'm just mindful of the time, Judge. Biddy, you have your ears on the ground there. You think it's coming to an end?
Well, they are using the military power to force it to get to an end. But will that stop it? That is no. Now, I beg to disagree with Sir George. He said, and they will pick that fool in Finland. You see, I have a different view to what is happening in Southeast. I don't like the sit-at-home because it's affecting the economy of Southeast. Do you understand? But the truth is this. Now, they are using the military rule to stop this sit-at-home by force. Still, people are not coming out. Do you understand? People are not coming out. Now, the Nigerian government will say that we'll have peace and unity. And there's no peace in Nigeria and there's no unity. Now, when there was problem in the South, the government called the militants for negotiation, for talk. The Boko Haram, they called them. The Boko Haram will know today. They forgive them. People who kill people for nothing, they forgive them. They put them on salary. They put some on stipend. They take them for international training. But this people in the South, in this IPOB, nobody wants to listen to them. But you want to force them to listen to the government. That's okay.
That's
if they feel
massive one. I think it should be a topic of discussion.
Wait, please. I'll be fast about it. Now, I want to, please, 1 minute, please. Now, I want to disagree with Sir George in some area. He said they will pick that MAGA from Finland. Now, my question is this. If the Southeast leaders, governors, and technocrats and politicians were at home, if they have a relationship with their people, the young ones will listen to them. But what we say today is that nobody in Southeast can speak to any Southeast person and they listen. That's why they are listening to this boy in Finland. That's why it looks like Nnamdi Kanu has a different personality. It's because the leaders of Southeast have lost touch with their people. And why is it? Because their people cannot even believe them. They don't
Yeah,
believe that
yeah.
they have their
The
interests
governors
at
are
heart.
collecting subvention every month from the federal government,
Exactly.
so
So
they don't
I
want to
don't,
compromise their own prestige.
I don't blame the guy in Finland. I blame our leaders, because if our leaders are in touch with their people, that boy will not be there and be giving order, and they will accept him. The Southeast leaders should be ashamed of themselves.
It's a
Not
food for
going
thought.
after.
Honestly, we're bringing this back, but I have two
Yeah.
major things to discuss right now. The well-known first chartered accountant in Nigeria, Akintola Williams, died a few days ago, and Nigerians are mourning him. And we understand he was an embodiment of action. He was known to have said something special. What's the secret of your business? What did he say? Who knows?
Yeah. Let's hear it from you.
Yeah, tell us. I didn't hear that one.
Oh yes, I understand. He said that is about passion. Whatever you have to do it with passion.
With passion. That's right.
Yeah, with passion. And
The
for wonderful. Sorry.
Interesting thing is, Papa was 104 years. That was
He lived a good life.
His name was synonymous with accounting in Nigeria.
Yes.
I mean, you have to for your CV to have Akintola Williams, then you are going to get a better job.
Yeah, he's the first chartered accountant in Nigeria.
He helped the music industry, the film industry in Nigeria tremendously.
Wow.
He was part of the group that he really represented them quite well. So that's one of the things that, he did well. And his brother too, what's his brother's name again? Yeah, that's him there. That man, he lived a good life.
Yes, a good life, and a very. It's not going to be like some of our well-known senior advocates of Nigeria. When they die, nobody will mourn them.
Nobody will know.
No. But this one worked very well. Now let's move on. Divine Rema, he collected an MTV award. Our boys are doing well. Mark, you were there, weren't you? Well, at least you can show something. You can show something from there, like you are there.
Yes.
Is it possible we have it on screen?
Yes. Yes. There's a video clip of me taking the award.
Africa in the house tonight. First of all, I want to give big thanks to God. I want to give big thanks to my fans. Make some noise. I want to give big thanks to my team. Big shout out to Selena. I want to say I love you from the bottom of my heart. This means so much, seeing Afrobeat grow this big and being here on this stage representing Afrobeat tonight. I'm so happy.
Okay.
But one thing I would...
Okay. Yes. Sir George, you amazed me before we came on live show. You said you knew one of his songs. What's one of his songs?
Baby, calm down.
Calm down. Calm down. Biddy, tell us more about this man. How is he moving Nigeria?
The boy is so favored, honestly. It's not quite long. He came to Limelight and he's flying everywhere, picking the award as if he's picking them on the road. The guy is doing well. And one thing about his songs are so unique. I'm telling you, and with his voice, he has this touch of natural voice in all his songs. If you're sleeping, you hear Rema's song, you will know. And most of his song gets connected with people, with realities of life.
What's the next line after "Baby Calm Down"? What line followed it? I don't know. I'm not kidding.
This is your body that make me so you want me to stand up and dance for you?
No, but our boys and girls are making it there.
Calm down, baby, calm down.
Sir George, you are supposed to be a man of God.
Lockdown.
Of course he is. He's his spirit.
Calm down.
Come on, Sir George. I will come to your show, you know.
Oh, young guy.
Well, I just have to thank you. I have to thank you, my God. Oh, look at Biddy dancing in Nigeria. Look at Biddy dancing in Nigeria. Sir George, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Well, that's how far we can go today until when we see on Friday to discuss. Thank my colleague in Toronto, my colleague in Milan, my colleague in my dancing colleague in Nigeria. My name is